Hi guys, I'm Coach Connor.
And I'm Coach Emma.
And we're going to be talking about the paleo diet today. So, paleo diet is essentially like a hunter-gatherer diet from Paleolithic times. And what it is where essentially you're eating lean meat, fish, nuts, fruits, veggies, anything that they would get in that period. Not like today, like we have 7-Elevens and Burger King and McDonald's everywhere. Essentially the Paleolithic is like a clean, unprocessed, whole food diet. And this is why as diets go, this is probably one of the more positive diets, even though we don't want to use that word diet, which we'll talk about in a minute. But generally that clean, unprocessed style of eating has such positive effects on our diet, such as?
Yeah, the best thing about it is that generally it means that you're following an unprocessed diet. So processed foods, they're packed full of all kinds of things that are not necessarily so beneficial for the body, whereas unprocessed foods, you're going to have better digestion, the body's going to be able to absorb the foods and the vitamins and minerals within the food better. The chances of weight loss are going to be increased as well because the body's going to be able to digest the food better. Blood sugar levels generally are more leveled out, so then you've got longevity, all of these kind of benefits that you get from having the unprocessed foods.
Yeah, exactly, because again we live in a world where most foods, it's very difficult actually to get foods that are not processed. There'll just be less processed and more processed. And the problem with that is people tend to have a lot of processed food and they get insulin resistance, or their triglycerides are quite high, their LDLs, which is like their cholesterol, is quite high. And going towards a paleo style lifestyle as opposed to a paleo diet, paleo style lifestyle will actually help improve all of those. So again, it's highly recommended, but like we talked about, we don't want to use the word diet. Again, it has a negative connotation towards it, which Emma is going to speak about now.
Yeah, I think when deciding which diet or how to go about your nutritional intake on a daily basis, when you're choosing which kind of path to follow, I think it's really important just to do what works best for you, and anything that really promotes being able to take in more vegetables, fresh foods, proteins, carbohydrates, all of these kind of things being your focus. So whichever diet works best for you to be able to do that, that's great. But having said that, if you choose just one diet, let's say, the problem with this is that if you happen to come off it, let's say you go out for a social event or you're just feeling like having something different to eat that day, once you come off that can trigger all kinds of negative emotions, guilt, food fears, all these kind of things that can then cycle you back to step one again, and then you start beating yourself up and it all goes wrong. So the best thing to do is just to really focus on being able to get in your fresh fruits and veggies, your proteins, and to come away from believing that you have to stick to one diet.
Yeah, exactly. And two quick little guidelines that you can follow to follow a paleo style lifestyle. So one is eat real food that has a mother or grows from the ground. So anytime you're going to the supermarket or anytime you're eating something, ask yourself, does this have a mother or does this grow from the ground? Generally, if it doesn't, it's going to be a little more processed. The second guideline is 80-20. Go towards this guideline 80% of the time, or eat unprocessed or eat paleo style 80% of the time, and then the other 20% of the time, that's when your, I suppose, other areas will kick in, maybe your ice cream or slightly processed foods. That way it's going to be more long term, it's going to feel more achievable, and ultimately it's going to get you better results in the long term. Okay, so hope that was helpful, and we'll see you soon.